Kevin, early in your career, you did a soap opera, Search for Tomorrow.
Hmm.
Now, at that time, how did the reactions from people in the street differ from people who saw you at the theater?
They were much more enthusiastic about me when I was a soap actor. Even though I only did it for a brief period, and my character sort of came and went rather infrequently. But the fans of soap operas are, well, they're like feral. They're like wild animals when they can't believe they're seeing that person in the flesh.
Now, speaking of movie acting as opposed to theater acting, was there ever a time that you felt that Hollywood wasn't quite sure what to do with you? Because there was a reluctance to let you do comedy for a while, wasn't there?
Sure. Yeah, they wanted names that spelled comedy. And having started off with Sophie's Choice and then The Big Chill, they said, well, he's not a comedy actor, and audiences aren't going to go see him in a comedy. He's a dramatic actor. So it was only when John Cleese wrote that part for me in A Fish Called Wanda, now I get comedy scripts as well.
Now, how good are you at predicting how well your movies will perform at the box office? Are you ever surprised that the movies you think are going to be hits don't do as well, and vice versa?
I'm always surprised. I thought no one would be interested in A Fish Called Wanda or The Big Chill, and those were the two big popular successes that I've been involved with.
I'm doing a feature right now on the Academy Awards, little known facts about it, and you won an Academy Award.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm just curious, the mechanics of it. What is your initial contact with the Academy after you're nominated, and what happens?
I think you get a letter inviting you to a luncheon with all the nominees a couple days before the award. The studio that produced the movie you're in, tells your agent that they'll fly you out and put you up in a hotel, and encourage you to attend the awards ceremony. And then you just go and you show up.
Now, the statue itself, when you bring it home, like, do people ever ask you to do things with it? Do they ever ask to borrow it, take it to a party?
Well, in anticipation of that, I don't keep it in a prominent position, so that I figure out of sight, out of mind. So that hasn't happened to me.
Okay. And one last question about the Oscars was, when you get it, it's not engraved.
Right.
So how does that process work?
Oh, yeah. What do you do? Oh, I think you send it back. A friend of mine did it for me. You send it to the Academy, and they engrave it and then ship it to you. You get a very heavy package in the mail one day.
Now, with this movie, Grand Canyon, now it's a movie that I think maybe some people might overanalyze. But what do you want people to think when they leave the theater?
I want them to think. I want them to think that they've got to think a little about their own lives, and but that sounds like the movie's not a lecture at all, and it has no answers. It just raises some questions, and in fact, I hope they'll just come out feeling hopeful and feeling good about their lives and appreciate the preciousness of their life.
Now, a lot of actors talk about, the lean years, the hard years. For you, what was the most difficult period in your professional career?
I think when I left, I spent 4 years in John Houseman's repertory company, the acting company. And when I left that and then had to really face the reality of being a New York actor and had to kind of start from scratch, going off Broadway and working my way up slowly, doing a soap opera, doing commercials, doing work that I vowed never to do, but because I had to eat, that was hard.
Now, a critic that you're probably heard of, Frank Rich of the New York Times, once wrote that you may yet be the American Olivier. Now, does that put a lot of pressure on you, and how do you feel when you hear praise like that?
Well, great. Very perceptive. What can I say? If you believe the good reviews, then you have to believe the bad ones. But that's very nice. I think Frank Rich is as desperate for a resurgence of classical acting in this country as I am. I mean, he's been very encouraging to me, for the most part, in my endeavors to pursue sort of the great Shakespearean roles.